Next up, we have Core Startup and Core Startup Failure from the Innovation Inc. Thermal Power Plant soundtrack, the Roblox type of game. My understanding here is that this is kind of like a first and second ending kind of thing, so we're going to treat it as a single track. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, at the time of recording, thank you so much for 7,000 subscribers on YouTube. I really appreciate it. If we somehow hit 10,000 before Christmas of 2025, I will, on top of doing the audiobook for the fanfiction, I will also play a single video game of the choice of the community live on stream. And members get early access, artists, Siashi, and everybody else I want to collaborate. If you want anything like guitars, Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old or anything else, I have a whole spiel about this at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. Core Startup first. Let's go. And Ford, welcome to today's how you doing? Okay, so we start with a fade in of two main layers. We have a guitar here. It sounds kind of like a guitar, kind of like a Z-tar. It could be a guitar with some effects put on top, and it is doing an arpeggios. We're having, do you hate fade-in too? No, fade-ins are fine. Fade-ins are fun. They're not as bad as fade-outs. Arpeggios, and arpeggio, of course, is when you play a chord one note at a time. For example, we have here C major, and here it is arpeggiated. That's simple. We're also engaging in voice leading with it, so voice leading. And yes, we have a blackboard now. I finally, 530 LFAs in, I finally figured out how to do this. So voice leading is when you change chords in a more economic and efficient way. Let's bring, for example, the example of C major, right? Let's do the C major scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Then let's do another octave of it. And watching me, yes, dark screen. I finally figured it out. My enemies can't know what I'm doing if I don't know what I'm doing, you know? So, when it comes to chords, the most common type of chord is called a triad. Triad means that it contains 3 notes. And the way it works usually is that you're going to have one note, you skip the next, one note, you skip the next, one note. So, in the case of C major, we have C, we skip D, E, we skip F, G. C, D, G. And there we have the chord of C major. Then, when you have a group of chords, you get what is called a chord progression. And the way it works is that you go from one chord to another, and different types of progressions have different things. So let's say C, E, and G. Then let's do one of the more common ones, 1, 6, 2, 5. What is that, right? The chord number 1, C, because it's the first one on the key. 6 would mean the 6th one. 6, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is A. So the next chord would be A. We use the same formula. 1, A. We skip 1, C, C. We skip 1, E. That's how we build our triad. 2 would be the second one in the scale, so that would be D. So now we go back to D, same formula, D, F, and A. And then 5, which is G. G, B, and D. So if we were to play these chords like this, in the way that I just put them in this little chart over here, it would be like this. Which, not as efficient as it could be, and that's where voice leading comes in. Voice leading means that you're gonna find the common denominators between your chords, and you're then just gonna do this. Your ship just got repairs. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the mosh pit. Welcome today. Yeah, what happened? And Eva, welcome today. How you doing? So, when it comes to this, then let's grab this. So, as I said, you grab the common denominators. Actually, let me do this. So, in the case of C and A, C is C, E, and G. A is A, C, and E. So, we can take these two and move them down here to have both of them. So we have now C, D, and A playing over here, and we can stop worrying about these. Then we have D, E, F, and A. These are already lined up. We just need to move. So instead of going C, D, and G, now we just move G to A, and now we have A minor. And over here, A, we already have A. We just move C to D, E to F. Now we have D minor. And then we have G, B, and D. We already have D over here, so we can move this one over to this octave over here. So we move this one over here. We already have we already have G, but what we can also do, we don't have G, we have A, but we have F. We can move F up 1 to G, and G up 1 to, and A up 1 to B, and then we just don't have to play this one. And then you can also do a G7, in which case you keep the F as well. So let me actually do that one as well, right, to make it sound. So we go from making this chord progression, to this chord progression. Same chords. And now I added the F there and there. What determines the minor or major in a chord? That would be the third. The third determines whether or not a chord is major or minor. So here, as I said, the way we do the chords, right? You do the root, skip one, then get the third. Skip one, you get the fifth. Because, you know, root, there's 5 notes in between over here. The third note from C is E. That's the third. If the distance is that of 2 whole tones or 4 semitones, it is a major third. A major third. A semitone is the smallest distance in music between notes. For example, C to B is a semitone. C to C sharp is a semitone. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a major third. A minor third would be 1 less semitone. 1.5 whole tones or 3 semitones. That makes a minor third. And then the fifth stays the same. And that's what determines a major or a minor chord. It's the third. Which means when you play power chords, there's no third. So, chord is D minor, but when you move the first note of any note, it becomes a different chord entirely. I'm wondering what happens. Oh, that is called voice leading. That is what becomes voice leading. When you change one note at a time, you end up with voice. You can end up with the idea of voice leading is to move as few notes as possible between, so that you don't have to bounce back and forth between the different chords. You're just moving 1 or 2 notes at a time to make your movement between the chords more efficient. So yeah, we're having that, and we are having a drum beat on top of that. Let's see where it goes. And by the way, the guitar here would be a riff, because not really a motif, it's more of a riff. We bring in the bass. Nice. And by the way, a riff is a variation of a motif. So a riff is what happens when you grab a motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else happens, and then you put that on an ostinato. Ostinato means that you're repeating it over and over again, and then you play it on a guitar or a bass or whatever contemporary instruments we have right now. And yes, Mr. Guy, yes. And I appreciate it, Yar. So yes, we're having this happen. We just brought in the bass. Let's see where it goes. I would say this sound... Oh, it's a 12-string guitar. That's what it is. It's not a sitar or a harpsichord. It's a 12-string guitar. There is such a thing as a 12-string guitar. And the way it works is that usually you would have just one string over here. You add a second string that is an octave higher, and you get this sound. The 12-string guitar. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 12-string guitars are a thing. 7-string guitars are a thing. I have one right behind me. Yeah, we have a 12-string guitar going on over here. That's why it sounded like 2 guitars at the same time. It's a 12-string guitar. There you go. There you go. These are kind of rare. So yeah, let's see where it goes. We change these around. And there we go. We bring what sounds to be a chime, kind of like a glockenspiel sample, giving us our melody a motif high up above, which could be, in my opinion, which I think is accentuating part of the arpeggios. So accents in music is for accentuation. That means that you are focusing on specific points of whatever melody is happening to make sure that you get. And in this case, you know, we're having one of the instruments doing an arpeggio and the other one is doing a melody. And I think the notes overlap. And yes, Royal Polito. Yes. Little Face Ramos, what's up, Ripper? Welcome today. How you doing? Yes. So yes, we're having some accentuation going on over here with these higher notes. Very lovely. Let's see where it goes. Excuse me. All right, so we're bringing this through. So now we're about to enter the first ending for core startup. And we're having in the background a couple of other synths that are kind of breaking down the melody. They're doing another parallel version of the melody that sounds a little bit more distorted. So let's see where this goes. So here's the success, core startup success ending. We are continuing. And yes, we have another melody there in between, trying to brings a little bit of dissonance to this. So in music, you have three types of sounds when it comes to melodies and harmonies. You have dissonance, you have consonance, and then you have instability, which is a single interval, which is the tritone. Tritone. So dissonance is notes that do not sound well together. That is going to be your minor seconds, major seconds, your major sevenths, and minor sevenths. Consonance is going to be the rest. Minor thirds, major thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths. And then the tritone, which is a type of instability, which is the only interval in the Western music that is 100% symmetrical. This is the middle point between the start of the chromatic scale and the middle point of the chromatic scale, and it sounds like this. Now, the thing about dissonance is that you can turn dissonance into consonance very easily. What do? You add one consonant to any of the dissonant notes, and you get beautiful consonants. You cannot do that with the tritone. With the tritone, if you add consonants to it, it still sounds unstable. If you add dissonance to the tritone, it still sounds unstable. So that is what sets the tritone apart. It is the only interval in music that is inherently unstable. And funnily enough, it's the only interval that is perfectly symmetrical. It's the only one that is perfectly symmetrical. And it has a certain sense of poetic beauty to it, that it is the only one. That the only interval in music, interval being the distance between two notes, that is symmetrical. Which means music is asymmetrical. Music is imperfect. Music is supposed to be flawed like this. And that's where it gets its beauty. So, all right, Jimmy, that sounds... Oh, that was my computer, sorry. Yeah, take it easy, all right? So yeah, there you go. Let's see where this goes. So now we're having some instability. We're having a second phrase there that doesn't fully fit. Let's see where it goes. So yeah, very low there. We're having another melody that is dissonant. But now we're still continuing this. Yes, Candy, after this. All right. Oh! Okay, so now we bring a quick moment. We bring now a guitar playing power chords. Power chords, as I mentioned, those are the chords that do not have a third. These are just root and fifth, and it sounds really cool. Now introducing another guitar riff, playing probably the same chords that we were playing before, just under the new drums. The melody is still the same, Very glorious. Yep, new drums, new melody, new riff. We bring in the double bass drum from the drums. And we bring a guitar solo on top of this. So far, we've been basically just repeating the same. We've had an ostinato in the melody, that kind of thing. And in this case, we are bringing in a solo. When you're making music, you want a careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much of the same material, too much repetition, and you risk boring the listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. There is one universal exception that applies to every single genre out there, and that is solos. You bring in a solo that sounds cool enough, that sounds like it fits enough, you can get away with pretty much anything you want. There are other additional exceptions. For example, in metal, you get breakdowns. You can do pretty much anything there. In electronic music, you get dropping the beat. In funk, you get stuff like tutis, that kind of thing. Tutti means that everybody's playing the same thing. That kind of thing that you can just add a lot. And in this case, we're bringing in a guitar solo. Let's see how the first ending goes. Oh, shred it, brother! Oh, hell yeah. The rest is still playing the same. The drums are... Alright, we turn it down. Oh, all right, the solo ends and it abruptly ends. Does it say who did the guitars here? Oh, that was so good. Was it Siashi who did the guitars? That was really good. Alright, so that is ending number 1. Now we have ending number 2. So we're going to go back. James Hurley did the guitar. I wish. Let's see. Now we're going to have a conditional. This is something that we very rarely get, where we have a conditional. That was ending number 1. Now we're doing ending number 2 if certain conditions are done. This is the startup failure. So the first part is going to be the same. So we now have the dissonance back there, which is as the startup error occurs. No, we already had the error back here. We already have the dissonance here. Let's see what happens in the failure. So that one was success before, now we have the failure. Alright, and? And we transpose over, not transpose, we modulate over from a major scale to a minor scale. We are now doing something similar. We are bringing in the acoustic guitar is now strumming the guitar a bit more sadly. We did not bring the metal band over here. And as I said, we ended up modulating / transposing. So modulating and transposing, they can be two very similar things, which just means we went from one group of chords to another group of chords. And in this case, we went from a major scale, which is, as I said, major third, so it sounds very nice. And we went to a minor scale. Looks like we modulated, so we switched over to a different scale, and it now sounds a little bit sadder, but it sounds also like it was a distant modulation. When it comes to music, we have something called the circle of fifths. And the circle of fifths is this very complicated diagram over here, which is the different key signatures that you have, right? So here we have C major, and that's your key of C major. And then you go in fifths. So the fifth note up from C is G. That's the next key signature that exists, and it changes. The differences between C and G is a single sharp. By the way, there are 3 types of notes in Western music. There are 3 types. This is the first time I talked about this. There's natural notes, there's sharps, and then there's flats. A natural note is the white keys on the keyboard. Now, sharp or flat is contextual. A sharp, which is usually symbolized by this symbol over here, you can call it hash, you can call it pound, whatever it is, it means that the note is raised up. So here we have C. If we bring it back up half a step, that is C sharp. However, there's also flats. Flats are usually symbolized by a variation of the letter B, and it means that it's going down. So if we have D over here, and we bring it down half a step, we get D flat. So these different parts of the chromatic scale give us formula that you can then get for your circle of fifths. So when it comes to a key signature, say C to G, these two are close because the difference is only one note. In this case, we go from F to F sharp being the one difference. So here is the key of C major. Here is the key of G major. So most of the notes are pretty much the same except for one. And the more sharps or more flats you add, the more distant your key signature becomes. So something tells me over here, we ended up doing something like, okay, we're going from C major over to a distant minor scale. So we could have gone from C major to C sharp minor, for example. So we are very much playing you can see, right? It's how immediate the key signature is. So here we have C, here we have C sharp minor, and we could have done something like this, like we are just playing in C. And then we switch to C sharp minor. So now, even though the notes are relatively close to one another, the key signatures are so far away from one another that the feeling completely changes. It's like pulling your rug, especially if you end up going there very suddenly. So now we're transposing the melody. We're playing the same melodic shapes, just in the new key that we are in. So, hell yeah, miss. Appreciate it. So let's see where this goes, because now we're doing... So this is a lot sadder. We're continuing. We introduced a piano as well. We switched the synth, the glockenspiel, the chimey, bright synth that we had to a piano. It sounds a lot darker. It sounds a lot more obscure. So a lot of this is also brought by the instrumentation that we've had. The core startup has failed. This has now failed. We are more sad. We're doing a darker theme now. So let's see where this goes. Funnily enough, I think the melody that we're getting over here, the minor melody, is the melody that we were getting in the success that was being dissonant. There is no dissonant melody over here. This is completely consonant. This whole thing is completely consonant. There is no additional melody adding dissonance to this. Very interesting. Let's see where it goes. We're adding some additional arpeggios. What do you mean? So in the first melody that we had, we were adding a parallel melody, a second melody that was dissonant. For example, if we do the example of a C with C sharp, let's say I'm doing this over here. And if I were to add for a quick moment a C sharp minor version of the motif, and if I were to just add it very subtly halfway through. So even though I played it very quietly, and even if I add more distance, you can feel the melodic shape is still there, but this second one, it's in a distant key, it's in a minor key, and it's dissonant. It's adding like a little ugh to it, because we are adding notes that would otherwise not be compatible. These are dissonant. We're adding these very much, and it could be in like any other key as well, right? So it could be these, and I think every once in a while we're getting an accent of that in the first version that is not present on the second version, because this one is how it was meant to be. Let's see where it goes. Oh, we slowed down the drums, we remove the guitar, and now we leave just with the piano and the background synth, the ambient synths. And we take down to another synth that fades out. Okay, so we have the bass and another synth that fades out, probably to loop back to the very beginning until you get it right, I guess, something like that. So there you go. There you go. That was very fascinating. There you go. That was core startup and core startup failure from the Innovation Thermal Power Plant soundtrack. Roblox game is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term I use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, at the time of recording, thank you for 7,000 subscribers on YouTube. I really appreciate it. If we somehow hit 10,000 before Christmas 2025, on top of the audiobook of fanfiction of the choice of the community, I will also play a video game of the choice of the community live on stream. We're going to do a whole stream dedicated to just that. We're also going to do giveaways and whatnot, most likely. This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no botting, no buying followers, no alt accounting, no rat behaviors like that. Go share the streams, the videos with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share them around. Go use the hype function on YouTube as well. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but we have a group on the Discord that does. Link down below. Go coordinate with them. Yes, artists, Siashi or everybody else, anybody else on YouTube, I'm open to collaborations. If anybody wants any of my musical skills, whether it is my guitars, Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, or if you want help figuring out something for your composition or any other kind of collaboration, just reach out, let me know. We'll make it work as much as possible. We'll make it work. And if you're in the audience and you want to, and you know an artist that could benefit from that, let them know. Just reach out. Please do not harass anyone. Please do not spam anyone. Be cool about it. Don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking these in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you are not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video, which has the instructions. For those of you on the stream, you can go ahead and start requesting now. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. And if you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. So if you live in Port Haydn and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch. Just link down below is going to show in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the recordings of the gaming after shows when they happen. Link down below, or just search on YouTube. Same username as James R. Basterd, just up the J for a G, and you got it. And yes, to respond to Mr. Guy there, I in general do not like fade-outs. I do not think they are usually justified. In this case, I don't like it, but it makes sense. So yes, usually it's to say and then like these songs seem to have needed to be 2 minutes, so a quick fade out made sense. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, there you have it. Core startup and startup failure. Innovation in thermal power plant. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.